Hi everyone, it's been a while since I've been on YouTube. About 2 years actually. So a lot has gone on since I uh, posted last. I was living in a different apartment before, then I moved to another apartment with my boyfriend. And now we're living in a house. In between that time, I acquired functional neurological disorder, and I had already had a concussion 2 years ago, so I have a feeling that might have something to do with it because some of the symptoms that I dealt with PCS are now um, into the symptoms I feel now with functional neurological disorder. Um, it hasn't been fun. I'll let you know that if nobody knows what that is, and I shouldn't say nobody. There are some people that know what it is. Not many people do. Um, you don't hear about it often unless you look for it online. Of course, YouTube. Um, and it was called conversion disorder for a period of time, but then they switched it over to functional neurological disorder. It's essentially if your hardware is fine, like your body, there's nothing actually physically wrong with it, no organs are failing or anything like that, but your software is messed up. So your neurons in your head aren't getting the right communication. So it's essentially a major communication failure going on in your body. um, that's causing problems. It can come from being traumatized from different situations in your life. That's a possibility. Doesn't mean that's necessarily the situation going on, um, or how it all stemmed. I started getting the symptoms back in April of this year, and it's now almost October. So I just got back with my boyfriend from a trip down to South Carolina for a few days to go see my parents. And I was like, all right, everything is okay. But then a couple days later, I started getting pain in my shoulder. And I already have fibromyalgia. I was diagnosed many years ago. So I'm thinking, okay, just having a flare up, whatever, just deal with it. But then the pain started to move down into my lower back. Um, and it was not pretty. I work or was working. I mean, I'm still employed with Home Depot, but at the time I was working as a special services associate, and that's essentially like customer service beyond cashier. So if you needed to come to me for help with a return, an order, you have questions about anything, I'm your person. Um, so I started getting problems. I needed to be able to sit in a chair or like a stool while I'm at the computer because I was struggling to be able to walk anywhere without a cane. I was in so much pain all the time. I ended up having to get FMLA um, through my work, and just so I could go home if needed to and not get penalized for it because the pain was just getting horrible. Um, then May 25th comes, and all of a sudden I'm struggling to walk outside of just walking normally with pain, but I couldn't move. I was just like so many times I would get what they call freeze gait, where I walk and all of a sudden my body just freezes up. I can't move forward. I have to wait like almost half a minute to be able to move my leg again. And my boss is trying to be funny with me and just like, hey, Lita, red light, green light, trying to get me to move. And I couldn't. And I started to stutter. I was having tremors. And that's not good when you're customer service. So she's like, you got to get going. You go get some help. Go get seen, see what's going on. So I go to urgent care. I didn't want to bother with the ER yet because the ER around here sucks. They don't take you seriously half the time. So urgent care seems to. So I was like, all right, let me go get seen, see what's going on. Well, all of a sudden, I started getting what looked like a stroke to the people that were working at urgent care as soon as I walked in. Like, they called the ambulance, sent me right back to the hospital I was trying to avoid in the first place. Not fun. Well, I didn't have a stroke, but I had symptoms of a stroke. So that can be considered what is now known as, functional neurological disorder. It can come off that way. So, stroke like symptoms, no stroke. So, it's a good thing I didn't have one, but it was also a pain because what exactly is going on? I was admitted to the hospital, I was there for a week, um, and I was still struggling to talk to some degree. I mean, I could talk better, but I was still stuttering. I got so many tests done, all came back clear, and they tried to put me on torvastatin. That was a bad idea because I started getting like a seizure while I was laying there, and I was moving like uncontrollable. Just so I told them, don't put that on me again. And they're just giving me like blood clot stuff because I was basically a zombie. Like, as far as like I'm stuck to a bed, I couldn't move, to get out of bed to go to the bathroom unless I got help. So I was just like, man, this is not fun at all. I'm not saying hospital stay ever is fun, but they still couldn't figure it out. Um, After I got out of the hospital for that week, I go see my doctor. She still can't figure it out. Go sends me for tests for all these different things, and everything comes back clear, except for like consistent UTIs, which sucks anyway. But it's like a bodily issue or whatever. Still can't figure it out why everything else seems to be going on. Still having trouble walking, talking, not sure, major pain, like weakness um, when I'm trying to walk with my cane. And I didn't want to do a walker because that hurts my back more. I've discovered that when I had concussion a couple of years prior. So I go and just, try to do all the testing, but now I'm pretty much stuck at home because I'm too much of a liability to go to work. And she can see I would not be safe going to work. It's not a safe environment for me um, because not only is it concrete floors, it's also the chemical that I'm highly allergic to. I need an EpiPen for is ammonium chloride. You can find that in Lysol and a bunch of other products, and even the disinfectant that they have there at the store. I call it the red stuff. Not allowed around it. I need an EpiPen. Well, I can't avoid it if I'm there because people will spray it, and I can't police people. It's like I'm one person compared to 100 something people there. I mean, I tried to get them to work with me, like, hey, can we use this? Can we use that? But then I felt horrible because, why should the whole thing like work around me? It's like, that's not fair. I don't want to feel entitled or anything like that. Um, so I haven't been able to go back to work since. I'm supposed to go back at the end of September, which is coming up shortly, but I finally was just able to see a neurologist. She doesn't think I can go. She's like, I don't know how long this is going to take because there is no cure for FND. There is, just treatment plans. So she has me going to physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy. I still have yet to go to the last two. Um, Physical therapy has been kind of helping, sort of, but I'm still having a lot of pain when I'm walking around. So then it's harder for me to do the exercises because it's just too much of a pain in my back. Um, so it's like trying to do that, but it's still hard. Um, Luckily, I don't stutter as much, but it's still it's still there if I get flustered or feel any sort of pressure, and that's a big part of the problem too. Is that the stress of a situation can actually make this flare up more. So it's hard because I just have to live life, and there's gonna be pressure on life, but unfortunately, my body just can't take it right now. It doesn't tolerate stress. Um, so it's been a battle with short-term disability. Still trying to get help with that financially because if you can't work, how are you gonna make money? And I gotta pay bills. I got a lot of bills to pay, um, including having to pay on my benefits since I'm not working. It's not coming out of my paycheck normally. Um, so that hasn't been fun, to say the least. On top of that, it's just it's been hard because I don't have much of an appetite, and I get migraines every so often. Like if I get stressed out, the next day I get migraines. Um, so that's not very fun to deal with at all. And then it also cuts down on my socialization time, and it's hard to socialize anyway because I have bipolar too. So I just feel like I don't have a hard time connecting with people because my depression's a bit bad or anxiety's bad, and I don't want to be a burden. That's hard. So I get YouTube time. I watch YouTube all the time, and I limit it. That's basically my things in life that I do. Get to hang out with my boyfriend when he's done with work, and my kiddos, at work too. So I don't really get to see him at all. Um, yeah, so it's just trying to deal. If others are out there that are dealing with this too, or dealing with disability that kind of keeps them at home, um, I'm here. I'm, always willing to talk with people and, connect because it's really hard in this day and age to connect with people um, and feeling seen and all that. It's a tough world out there, you know. Um, and, when I do go out I basically just go to appointments or if I have to go get things for groceries. Um, but then I can only really stand it for 10 minutes or less because I'm in so much pain trying to walk and, rely on the car to keep me up. Than just dragging my feet. So, anyway, just wanted to update everybody. And if anybody has this disorder, you know, um, it'd be great to talk to you. If you like to illuminate, I'm here too. If you're a little bit more goth, I'm here too. All right, well, I hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.